We are coming your way from Phoenix, Arizona. It's the middle game of the three-game series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Arizona Diamondbacks. As the Pirates' 10-game road trip continues, the Buccos have now won 2 straight, 4 of their last 6 ball games. Offense all over the place again last night. Greg Brown along with John Wehner. And John, Jordy Mercer led off against a lefty last night, homered, part of a 3-homer attack. John Jaso will be back in there tonight against the righty, and John Jaso has been everything the Pirates had hoped for and more.
No question. I mean, I didn't have him being our leadoff hitter when we signed him, but what a pickup he has been. And, you know, he takes what they give him. He's not going to just go up there and slap the ball the other way. He'll look to pull the ball on occasion. He'll get extra base hits. He's been good at driving in runs. Again, he'll hit a ball out of the ballpark here at some point in time. I could see him maybe hitting double digits as the leadoff guy, but the key is he's patient, he gets on base, and he gives the offense an opportunity to score more runs.
Career high 11-game hitting streak coming into tonight, batting .429 over that stretch. And others are contributing too. You take a look at some of the bench guys. Chris Stewart, the backup catcher, of course, hitting over 300. Matt Joyce has been a nice pickup. And Sean Rodriguez, this is what the Pirates had hoped for last year, his first year to Bucco uniform. He has been tremendous. He'll start at shortstop tonight.
Yeah, he keeps swinging the bat the way he is. He's going to be in the lineup more. Was in there last night, obviously, the big home run in there tonight. Will probably be in there tomorrow against the lefty. And it's been very impressive what these guys have done. 4 of the 10 home runs coming from these 3 guys. It's important to have guys that just don't come off the bench to pinch hit, but when they're in the starting lineup, they can be productive as well.
Sean Rodriguez in there at shortstop tonight, giving Jordy Mercer a night off. Hopefully the offense doesn't take a night off. Juan Nicasio will be on the hill tonight for the Buccos, making his 4th start. We'll talk about him and his mound opponent coming up from Phoenix next. Right-hander on the mound for the Pirates tonight. He will be making his 4th start. Last Sunday against the Brewers at PNC Park, gave up 3 runs in 6 innings, got the win. The Pirates won it 9-3, collecting 17 hits. Talking about an offensive explosion. And Ruby De La Rosa has done some relief work this year, and this will be his 3rd start.
Yeah, hoping for good things from Nicasio. Looking for his third Bucco win. I think command's always the key for Juan. Ruby De La Rosa been really struggling his 2 starts this year and really struggling with his fastball. A guy that averages over 95 miles per hour on his fastball has allowed opposing hitters to hit 379 off that pitch thus far. So it should be an interesting night. Hopefully Nicasio's on, De La Rosa's on.
And Andrew McCutchen eyeing some hits tonight as well. We'll go back to the studio. Paul Alexander and a game break. Bucco fans on hand, hoping to see their team defeat these Diamondbacks for a second straight night. Pirates have won 4 of their last 6 games, including 2 in a row, winning in the finale of the series against the Padres on Thursday in San Diego, and last night 8-7, outlasting these Snakes. So Clint Hurdle's Pirates are now 9-8. Here's the RAV4 starting lineup for the Bucks. John Jaso, that 11-game hitting streak, career high for him, will lead things off. Andrew McCutchen is next, then David Freese hitting third. Starling Marte is the cleanup hitter. Francisco Cervelli has a 6-game hitting streak. He'll be followed by Gregory Polanco, Josh Harrison, Sean Rodriguez, and Juan Nicasio. McCutchen hitting second this season, and John Jaso has hit leadoff in just about every game, certainly when an opponent starts a righty, and Ruby De La Rosa makes his 6th appearance and 3rd start.
Coming off a 14-win season last year here with the D-backs, but off to a rough start. 8.44 ERA, a hard thrower. As I mentioned a moment ago, over 95 miles per hour on the fastball. Also will mix in, will throw a bunch of sliders and will mix in occasional changeup.
On to defense behind him. Chris Owings is the center fielder. He's flanked by Yasmani Tomas in left. David Peralta is in right. Jake Lamb, Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Gene Segura, Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Chris Herman makes his 6th start behind the plate for these Diamondbacks. John Jaso hitting .368 for the year. That is 4th best in the National League. Takes ball 1 and we're underway. And a strike is called. Now, last night the game started just as the game started. They opened the roof here, and what a difference that made. Talking to the players and the coaches about the dramatic effect. It's the first time that I can recall, John, I'm sure it's happened before, that the Pirates played a game at night here in Phoenix and they opened the roof, and it was down on the field especially. The wind was kicking up. This ball lined toward left center field. A nice jump, but the ball gets past Chris Owings and goes to the wall. And now the bobble by Tomas. Jaso winds up at second base with a leadoff double and a 12-game hitting streak.
Yeah, John Jaso will take it. Looked like off the bat, you know, he obviously hit it hard, but it looked like Owings was going to make the play, but went into that slide really early. No need to slide. You stay on your feet. You probably catch it about belt high, but he decided to go into the slide, and boy, John Jaso will take it. Like I said, the 12-game hitting streak. See, he thinks it's going to be caught.
He didn't expect Owings, but a lot of these players go into that slide for some reason. And that costs Owings and the Diamondbacks, so a leadoff double. And here is McCutchen.
I'd like to see the bat stay hot. You know, although long balls last night had nothing to do with the roof open or shut, those were still going to end up out of the ballpark. Aren't they saying they might open the roof?
That's what I was just going to say. During the game, it's going to open up, kind of like the old days of Minute Maid Park down in Houston, where they waited a few innings before opening the roof. It is 84 degrees outside, 74 degrees inside. A leadoff double, McCutchen, and with David Freese on deck. John Neese here on the right-hand side of your screen got the wind, battled through the wind, and McCutchen is hit by the pitch. And John Neese, first time in his career he has started out 3-0. He went 5 1/3, gave up 4 runs on 10 hits. 2 aboard, nobody out.
Don't wake him up.
Yeah.
He's been struggling a little bit. Broke out of a bit of a slump last night. Got his first hit of the road trip, an RBI base hit, and you can tell he was frustrated at the end of the night after he popped up his last at bat. I think a little more so now after getting plunked.
David Freese takes ball 1. Freese did not start last night's game, but did play a role as he came in part of a double switch in the 6th inning and ended up with 2 at bats, a 1-out double in the 7th, scored the 6th run of the game. Pirates would need all 8 to win it 8-7. Freese hitting .290. He has hit into 6 double plays, most on the club, and that's what De La Rosa will be looking for right here. And a chopper. Third baseman Lamb will get an out at first, but almost like a bunt. Jaso moves to third, McCutchen to second.
Yeah, turns into a productive out. You'll take it. I'm sure Freese once more. Probably like to drive in a run or 2 in that situation, but turns out okay.
Marte will be coming to the plate. Rivers Casino tips to win. What do you have, John?
Well, I think Andrews do. And again, I mentioned the frustration last night. I mean, he's just missed some balls, and I think that maybe snowballed into some bad at bats for Andrew, hitting over 200 or under 200 in his last 60 or so at bats. And for Nicasio, work down the zone, especially when that roof opens. Yeah. Make sure you get the ball on the ground. Try to keep it out of the air.
Starting Marte with the middle infield back. This is the breaking ball. Marte, a 7-game hitting streak currently. And with his 1-for-4 performance last night, now owns a 20-game hitting streak against the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's the longest of any player ever against these Diamondbacks.
Now you got to battle that little backdoor sinker at 96 miles per hour. You saw the catcher Herman go outside off the plate to set up there, and then that late tail caught the outside corner. So now if you're Marte, you shorten up and just put it in play. Try to hit a ground ball up the middle. You'll score at least one.
Pirates faced De La Rosa last year. He wasn't around for the decision, but pitched a good ball game against Pittsburgh. He went 7 innings, gave up 1 run. The Pirates won the game 2-1 on an RBI single in the 9th by Marte. But De La Rosa, a no decision. And gets him. Second out.
That's a big strikeout right there. And with Marte, they're going to try to make him expand just about anybody when they get ahead 0-2, especially in a situation like this with runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs. Now, Greg, earlier we were talking with Paul and Teak in the pregame. They brought up Marte, and I just want to know if you agree with me. I said that I don't think Marte's really been locked in yet. I mean,
I definitely think he's not locked in.
He's really been kind of free swinging, just getting his hits.
Yep.
And it's hard to say that when a guy comes in hitting 324 with 10 extra base hits on him.
Just shows you what we think and we know is what his capability is and will be once he does get locked in. It's scary to think about it.
Yeah, because he's still free swinging. We still see him chase as he did there. He gets overly aggressive. He is an aggressive type hitter, but when he gets locked in, he slows it down a little bit. He'll get himself in better hitting counts because he's less likely to chase. He sees the ball better.
Towards short. And De La Rosa gets the big strikeout of Marte. Gets Cervelli to bounce to Nick Ahmed. Pirates stranded couple. Juan Nicasio headed to the hill. The first on the starting lineup for the D-backs on the Chip Hale. Gene Segura, Jake Lamb, Paul Goldschmidt. His career against Nicasio, 6 out of 17. That's a .353 average. David Peralta hits cleanup. Usmani Tomas is in left. Nick Ahmed is the shortstop. Chris Owings, Chris Herman, Rube De La Rosa, the starting 9 for the Snakes. They are 9-9 on the year.
And your Hyundai numbers for Juan Nicasio. Mentioned looking for his 3rd win, a .480 ERA, 17 punch-outs in 15 innings, a couple of homers allowed. And also talked about with the ball, the way it carries here, keeping the ball down. And not only do you want to keep the ball down to keep it out of the air, but I think that the stuff plays better. You'll see more sink. There'll be more break on the breaking ball. And the result will be more swings and misses and less hard contact for sure.
Gene Segura had 3 hits last night. He's 6th now in the league in hitting at .356.
And already some frustration. Segura, I think, frustrated that Cervelli's frustrated.
Cervelli looking at him.
Yeah. Pretty close to the same pitch. Well, there's the first one. Well, that's pretty remarkable.
It is. Umpiring crew behind the plate is Clint Fagan, Marvin Hudson at first base, crew chief Bill Welke, and DJ Rayburn at third. A 1-2 count on Gene Segura. Left side, Rodriguez can't get a handle on it.
And there's an example of leaving the slider up for one, that he kind of didn't get it down. So Segura puts it in play, even though off the end of the bat. And Rodriguez, you know, at shortstop especially, I mean, getting the ball in and out of the glove with the grip is so essential. We saw it last night with Jordy at the end of the game with Paul Goldschmidt hit a ground ball, and Jordy didn't get a good handle on it, threw a changeup over there. Goldschmidt ended up beating it out after review. But yeah, the timing and the speed it's so essential to get a grip.
Well, Jake Lamb, I don't know how they call that a single. That is remarkable, but that's neither here nor there. Jake Lamb hitting .310.
It almost looked like Sean caught that ball when he came up with it. It was almost in, you know, the fingers of the glove. Infielders are used to catching the ball in the exact same place in the glove, and you know, they instinctively, after the ball's in the glove, the hand grabs and grips the ball in almost the exact same place. So if you don't catch it in that pocket where you're used to catching it, that usually happens, and you know, you have to kind of grab twice. You know, they grab it and they go with the 4 seams almost immediately, that these infielders, and if you don't get in there and grab it the way you're used to, you know, you're almost better off eating it, especially in a situation with Segura, the leadoff batter, and with his good speed. You know, everything had to be done just right.
And as good as Sean Rodriguez has been in just about everywhere, this is the first start he's making since that September 6th start last year in Cincinnati. Line hard the other way. Foul by Jake Lamb.
He made me nervous, Jake Lamb did. Normally as a hitter, especially when you hit a ball the other way, you know pretty much as soon as you hit it whether it's going to be fair or foul. And I thought it was foul off the bat, but he took off running. That ball had to be a good 10 feet foul or so.
Lamb, a pinch hitter late last night and grounded out. Close play.
I'm not sure that we got a tag on him, although John Jaso wants Clint Hurdle to take a look. You know, if the glove hit his arm, I think he's out.
Can't tell. 0-2 on Lamb. Got him looking. So Nicasio gets the strikeout. With one away, they'll bring up Paul Goldschmidt.
Oh, that's a good looking pitch right there. I was waiting for the slider to get the swing and miss, but boy, he put that in a perfect spot, right where he wanted.
Goldschmidt 1 for 4 with a walk in last night's game. .353 career hitter against Nicasio. Segura leaning over at first base, and Nicasio will hold it there. Segura wants to go. He has 3 steals and 4 attempts on this season.
And that's a called play where it comes from the bench to have Nicasio just kind of hold to see if Segura makes the first move. Goldschmidt has been struggling a bit. Kind of odd to see both Goldschmidt and McCutchen, who have pretty remarkable the other stats over the years, and 2 of the best hitters in the National League, to see them both struggling at the same time.
Top 2 vote getters in the MVP race 3 years ago when McCutchen won it. Since Goldschmidt made his major league debut August 2nd, 2011, very similar numbers. Goldschmidt has 9 more homers. McCutchen's on base percentage just a couple of percentage points better. Goldschmidt has hit .298 since his debut. McCutchen .304 since August of 2011. And now 3-0. Four-pitch walk to Goldschmidt. Two on, one out for David Peralta.
Right fielder, number 6, David Peralta.
Interesting to see how they attack Peralta here. And last night against Nice, you could tell Peralta was trying to go the other way, hit the home run the other way, hit another deep fly ball that way. Even when they came in on him, he pulled the hands in, hit a ball just left of center field. I'd be surprised to see if they pitch him away. Maybe got a little help there. Nicasio from Clint Fagan. You see that when Cervelli pulls his glove in, that usually will tell you that that pitch was not on the plate. And there was a little bit of a movement of the glove.
Nicasio, no surprise he's seen the Diamondbacks quite a bit with his time in the National League West, both with the Rockies and last year with the Dodgers. This is 18th career appearance, 8th career start versus Arizona, a 6.44 lifetime ERA. He has been better here in the Diamondbacks home ballpark, and takes care of Peralta on 3 pitches. He walks Goldschmidt on 4 pitches and comes back and strikes out Peralta on 3.
How about that? And again, pretty much he's pretty close to throwing to the glove every pitch. You know, I know he missed just off or just down against Goldschmidt, but it wasn't like he was all over the place. He was around the mitt, and you know, that's certainly a good sign. And he's been extremely aggressive with the fastball early on.
Here's Yasmani Tomas. A hit in 5 trips to the plate last night. He has an 8-game hitting streak. 2 on, 2 outs in the first. Cervelli with the pick. Segura still at second base. He was credited with an infield single, and then Goldschmidt walked. And now 2-0 on the Cuban defector, Yasmani Tomas. Juan Nicasio grew up in San Francisco de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Not too far drive from his Mount opponent, Ruby De La Rosa. Grew up in Santo Domingo. 2-1.
Got the check swing, a little bit of help from Tomas. Pretty aggressive hitter. He goes up there a lot of times just swinging before he recognizes speed and location. That's why Nicasio and Cervelli, first couple of pitches, went with the breaking ball to see if they can get a chase or two.
Two and 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And again, some help. That pitch well off the plate inside. And then Cervelli put the glove, the mitt up above the letters. And that's usually just in case that runner at second base is tipping off the hitter, or relaying signs or whatever. You'll see catchers do that from time to time.
Hits this toward right, over is Polanco, and he gets there. Infield hit, walk, couple of strikeouts and a fly out. 0-0 after 1.
The Sun here, Chase Field. I'm Robbie Mikowski. Well, in the next episode of Inside Pirates Baseball, you're going to see a feature on the Dominican wing the Pirates have in their clubhouse. Well, last night on the field in Detroit, some Dominican history was made at Comerica Park. Ramon De Jesus became the first umpire from the Dominican Republic to work a Major League Baseball game as he covered second base in the Tigers-Indians game at Comerica Park. Now, Gregory Polanco had De Jesus as an umpire from rookie ball all the way up to AAA, and he told me this makes him feel very proud. It shows how we could progress as umpires as well as players throughout the minor leagues. He said De Jesus was always a good umpire and felt he could make it. He said he's happy to see his fellow countrymen reach his dream of making the big leagues as an umpire, obviously, as opposed to being a player. So a lot of respect going on and good stuff coming out of Comerica Park last night, Greg.
Yeah, it really is something that you think that all the Dominicans, and some there, of course, Francisco Liriano, Starling Marte at the plate, Polanco on the mound. They hail from the same city, Santo Domingo, Gregory Polanco and Ruby De La Rosa. That there wouldn't have been an umpire from the Dominican until now.
I have to assume that to make it to the big leagues as an umpire, you have to go through the school and then through the progression.
Yeah. That's hit hard again to center field. Owings is back to make the catch. Gregory Polanco hit an absolute monster shot last night, well up the batter's eye. 3 tape measure home runs for the Pirates. Sean Rodriguez, Jordy Mercer, and Gregory Polanco. De La Rosa has given up a couple of home runs this season.
You would think, you know, for guys that, let's say, that hadn't made it or gotten released from an organization, you know, from the Dominican Republic, you know, maybe that they'd try umpire.
Yeah,
you
you think so? That's right. That's why I think it's so unusual that it's taking this long.
Because I think it would be difficult to go from the Dominican and come to the States just to be an umpire.
Right,
I mean, obviously they come over because signing bonuses and scouts and what have you to come over to you know, pursue the dream of making it to the big leagues. And, you know, but I'm sure there are probably folks that don't have the talent as some, like a Marte or whatever, that might have the dream of being an umpire. But that's a long road too. It's tough for these baseball players to progress through the minor league system, and it's equally as tough for umpires. And there's not as much turnover in the umpiring ranks.
Well, and one on Sean Rodriguez. 6 hits in 14 at bats, 6 walks. An impressive home run last night. Traveled close to 460 feet, or was projected to. I got to be sure I'm clear on that. I want to get that guy in the booth a couple booths over to our left angry.
He went out and took video today.
Did he really?
Out there, yep. And you see the respect now all of a sudden that Sean Rodriguez is locked in, and so now all of a sudden he's getting with 2 outs, 3-1 breaking balls, and wow, that pitch is well down and out of the zone.
And this time he goes the other way, deep to right field. Peralta back toward the wall, and look at this, Sean Rodriguez, an opposite field home run. It is 1-0, and Serpico is a story. He has 7 hits in 15 at bats, 3 of them homers.
And he is just locked in. He is seeing the ball so well right now. He's not even flinching on borderline pitches. You make a mistake, he's going to pull it 458 feet. You make a good pitcher's pitch, he'll hit it just 370 or so the other way for a home run. That is impressive hitting. This pitch is not a bad pitch. Look at the location. That's where a pitcher wants to throw it, down in the zone, outer half of the plate. That doesn't get hit out of the ballpark very often.
Man. But, you know, I guess we shouldn't be all that surprised to see the power, John, because I know you and I had this discussion a lot last year. As you take another look at the swing, the opposite field home run for Sean Rodriguez. He had 4 home runs all of last year in 224 at bats. But if you look at the year before, in 235 at bats, he had a dozen home runs.
Yeah. Yeah, the power is in there.
Yeah.
You know, and I think at times with bench players, I think what people need to realize is that they go hot and cold too. It's hard to be consistent, and that's why I guarantee you, Sean Rodriguez right now, I mean, he's hungry for at bats. He's hungry for playing time. Clint Hurdle is obviously putting him in the lineup. We'll assume tomorrow will be the 3rd straight day in the starting lineup, and you have to ride it while he's hot.
It used to be that it took adjusting to go from one league to another, and some don't take that into account as much because there is so much interleague play. But I wonder, having been a longtime American leaguer, if Rodriguez isn't now settled in to the senior circuit. Play goes 4-3. S-Rod goes deep on De La Rosa the other way. A 1-0 Pirates lead.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit bordaslaw.com. And by Day Automotive, we're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Here in the Valley of the Sun, it is a 1-0 Pirates lead going to the bottom half of inning number 2. Sean Rodriguez hitting his 3rd home run already. He's homered 3 times in his last 12 plate appearances. He had a total of 4 in 240 plate appearances all of last year. Nick Ahmed takes a strike. 1 for 4 last night, 1 hit in his last 17 at bats. And this is the bunt try. 0-2. Juan Nicasio gave up what was ruled an infield leadoff hit by Gene Segura. Then struck out Jay Glam, walked Paul Goldschmidt on 4 pitches, struck out David Peralta on 3 pitches, got Yasmani Tomas to fly out to right. Starter for the Colorado Rockies for a handful of years. Mainly a bullpen guy last year for the Dodgers. Pirates signed Juan Nicasio as a free agent in December with the idea that he would be at the very least a long man, a swing man out of the bullpen, but could battle for a spot in the rotation. And he had such an impressive spring training that it was hard not to give him this opportunity, and you see why they called it a check swing on the appeal.
Ahmed wasting a pretty good slider there. Yeah, that was an impressive spring training. One of the best I can remember seeing.
15 innings, 10 hits, no runs. These were in Grapefruit League games. He also pitched a couple times in the minor league ball games. 5 walks, 24 strikeouts. Speaking of impressive, how about what you and I were discussing today, Jameson Taillon. 6 dominant innings against the AAA affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds today. Shut them out 1-0, going 6 innings, and then the bullpen took over. But he has now struck out 16 opposing hitters in his first 16 1/3 innings without a walk to a single batter.
Just 1 hit today, right?
Yeah. 1 hit in 6 innings for Taillon. 3-2 on Ahmed. It's Chris Owings, the center fielder, due up next. We don't know really about the state of the bullpen. Clint Hurdle wouldn't commit to it. Said the relievers hadn't gone out to throw yet, so he wasn't sure what he would have available. Said he would be kind of surprised if Melanson were able to go. Melanson went 1 1/3, but the save situation came up. It's hard to think that Melanson wouldn't want to get that shot. Tony Watson thought he would be okay tonight. Talking to him, he felt good today. 1 2/3 innings last night. 3-2 on Ahmed.
You would think Nicasio would come right at him here with the fastball. Ooh. Nicasio can't believe it. He turns his back. Cervelli holds it. Looks like it caught inside corner. Clint Fagan looking right over the left shoulder of Cervelli. Has a good view of it. And gets it right. Just off the inside edge. Yeah, I guess that's one of the risks. I guess when you have your inning guys and then you bring them in for more than that. Anytime you have to get more than 3 outs, you run the risk of running that pitch count up. And if they're not efficient and they do run into trouble, they may not be available for the next day's game.
Owings 1 for 3 with a triple last night. He's 5 for 11 lifetime against Nicasio.
I know it's very early, but watching Nicasio again being aggressive with the fastball, throwing I would say about 90% fastballs so far, but changing speeds on it. That's not something we've really seen. You know, he's been from 91 to 95 or so.
We've talked about the fact that Nicasio is essentially a fastball slider guy. And thrown in his first 3 starts a handful of changeups that just to try and keep them off balance. There's a 91 the outside corner.
Maybe looking for more movement and location when he backs off. But yeah, he has walked a couple of batters, but I still think that he's been pretty much throwing the ball where he wants to. I mean, we've seen him spray the ball around a lot more than he has so far tonight.
Set up way outside, trying to get a chase here on an 0-2 pitch. Struck him out looking. Boy, both sides not thrilled with Clint Fagan.
Yeah, had a lot of bad looks from batters and pitchers last night as well, with DJ Rayburn behind the plate. Now this pitch is off the plate. Not as far off as I thought, you know. And when you see a catcher go out that far and it's not a breaking ball, a lot of times they're just showing a fastball to the hitter to set up a breaking ball for the next pitch. But I don't think they were looking to get a called third strike, but just to show velocity to set up a fourth pitch.
Here's Chris Herman, the backup catcher. Thinking Ahmed might want to be going. Chris Herman is 1 for 20 on the year, an .050 average, a lifetime 181 hitter. Parts of 4 seasons with the Minnesota Twins.
Hit and run candidate. And when you have a guy struggling, and you have a runner on, pitcher behind you, try to open up a hole.
Funny to watch these batters. Their reaction is classic. Just keep your eye on these hitters when they hear the call from Clint Fagan.
You'll see. Yeah.
Whoa.
He had a big smile after the first swing and miss. Now he has to go to battle mode.
Years old, from Tomball, Texas, a 6th round pick of the Twins back in 2009 out of the University of Miami. Chris Herman, acquired in November by the D-backs from the Twins for a minor league infielder. In 20 at-bats, he has struck out 7 times. Close, 1-2. Nicasio now has struck out 20 opposing hitters in 16 1/3 innings. Field. Polanco turns all the way around over his head. Hits off his glove. That's going to give them an opportunity to score the tying run. They will. Cervelli's throw is high and late, and it's 1-1. First RBI for Chris Herman as a Diamondback.
Boy, he turned that pitch around and hit it hard. You have a chance to get out of the inning. If Polanco can come up with that cleanly, no way Ahmed could have scored, or would he have been sent? It would have been 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, with the pitcher De La Rosa up. You see Ahmed getting waved after the bobble, and still, ball arriving about the time as the D-back shortstop did.
Double RBI, goes to 3rd on the throw to the plate, and now the infield in. De La Rosa, a 113 career batting average, 0 for 3 this season. Drove in 2 runs last year. Juan Nicasio appeared in 53 games with the Dodgers last season. 52 of those were out of the bullpen and had a 3.86 ERA. After spending parts of 4 seasons in the Rockies, mainly rotation, and 1 and 2.
How about the stolen base, by the way, of home? Ellsbury, Yankees stealing home.
Straight steal of home, right?
On a 3-2 count and 2 outs.
Now that I did not know.
That's
What?
ridiculous. It was 3-2 with 2 outs. I heard about it, and then I watched the video just to make sure. 3-2, 2 outs.
Wow. Back to Nicasio. And he gets it out of the pitcher. Looks the runner Herman back to the bag. And that's the second out. Well, that'll lead us to our This Day in Pirates History, brought to you by Day Automotive. 1954, Pirates played the Brooklyn Dodgers. A wild one at Forbes Field. 6th inning, Jackie Robinson walks, steals second, steals third, and then stole home. Part of a triple steal by the Dodgers. Frank Thomas, a game-tying RBI double, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, sent the game to extra innings. In the 13th, Jackie Robinson drives in the winning run, an RBI double. Gives the Dodgers a 6-5 win on April 23rd, 1954. Segura shows bunt.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the catcher was for the Rays, if it was Hank Conger, or, but the pitcher was in the windup, and Ellsbury takes off, and then so the catcher starts reaching out like he wanted the ball and wanted it up out over the plate. All you have to do is throw it down the middle. You know,
My word. Yeah.
Strike 3, innings
That's
over.
Unbelievable. Two balls, no strikes, the count on Gene Segura. Reached on an infield single, leading off the bottom of the first. So he has 4 hits and 6 at bats the first 2 games of this series. Turns in the front shoulder and takes a strike.
Yeah, the old backup slider from Nicasio. Behind the count 2-0, threw the slider. It didn't go where he wanted it to. It kind of stayed on the inner part of the plate.
Two and 1 on Segura. And now 2 and 2. 26 years old, from San Juan of the Dominican Republic. Originally signed by the Angels in 2007. 5 years later, big deal dealt to Milwaukee. July of 2012 for Zach Greinke, who is now a Diamondback. And this winter, Milwaukee sent him to Arizona along with Tyler Wagner, pitcher, for Chase Anderson and Aaron Hill. Full count. Jake Lamb on deck. There is Chip Hale, second-year skipper of these Arizona Diamondbacks. Chip Hale hoping for better results this year. 79 and 83 last season. And popped up. Harrison for the final out. Stay tuned after the game for a new weekly edition of Inside Pirates Baseball. Dominican players, major force in Major League Baseball and in the Pirates clubhouse. The Renegades of the Rotunda, an integral part of PNC Park's atmosphere, and much more. IPB, presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. Talking earlier about the Dominican players. Check out the UPMC scoreboard. 1-1. Go to the third inning. As Chris Herman, the catcher, ties the game with a double. John Jaso led off the game with a double and extends his career high hitting streak to 12 straight games. Lifting his average to 379. Of course, it's still early enough in the Major League Baseball season that Jaso's average can shoot up from 368 to 375 with one hit. Last year, in 70 games for Tampa Bay, he hit 286. That career high in terms of batting average for him. Lifetime 263 hitter. He's always been a high on base percentage guy, leading off much of his career, even though he's been a catcher for a lot of years. And a 3-0 pitch, and Segura stays with it, gets the out. And for tickets purchased now through tomorrow, the Pirates are paying all service fees. This deal includes the purchase of all games through the end of May. So don't miss out on the great promotions, key divisional matchups, and much more. For tickets, visit pirates.com/no fees. Take advantage now through tomorrow. We were saying last night the Pirates' next homestand begins next Friday with 3 against the Cincinnati Reds, and then that showdown with the red-hot Chicago Cubs starting 1 week from this coming Monday night, May 2nd. 2 night games and a weekday game on Wednesday, May the 4th, 12:35. 1-1 on McCutchen, who was hit by a pitch in the first inning. The Cubs are 13-4. So the Reds lead 5-3 in the 6th inning. The middle game of that series in Cincy. Two and 1 on McCutchen. A couple of homers, 5 RBIs, a .227 average, 15 hits in 66 at bats. So he's already topped his hits total from April of last year. That's how sluggish his start was in 2015. His April went 14 out of 72. And then he just took off. And he slips in the box, and he'll be an easy out.
Hard to say exactly what he fell on, but he went straight down after he made contact there. You see a breaking ball, actually a hanging breaking ball, and the injury. Well, I'm not sure if he just hit a rut in the clay there, but.
Well, 2 outs. And the batter, David Freese. And he gets hit.
Boy, the 2 hit batters, McCutchen and now Freese, the pitch is not close. I mean, we're talking way off the plate. That's middle of the back. Freese plays this off pretty good, but that stung. That may have gotten him right in the spine. I mean, that got him in a place, and you know they're talking about it over there, and I'm sure Dave's telling me, yeah, that got me good. That one hurt. You're up second next inning.
Yeah. Well, new manager Chip Hale. By the way, this is what John was talking about in case you missed it earlier. McCutchen.
And that's way off the plate. And the thing is, okay, we're trying to establish we're trying to run the fastball in the righties. If you can't do it without hitting guys, I mean, you can sit there and say it's accident all you want. Okay, it's an accident, but you just hit, 2 of the better players on the Pirates team, and okay, I'll believe that he didn't hit either one on purpose. I believe that, but that doesn't matter. You just don't keep throwing it in there if you can't control it in there.
You sound like the former manager of the St. Louis Cardinals when you say that.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a direct quote from the Hall of Famer Tony La Russa. Now chief baseball officer here with the Diamondbacks.
Looks like he's doing some fan mail.
Either that or sending some stuff to the league. 1-2 now on Marte. He was a strikeout victim in the first. Just checking the early totals in terms of pitching staffs hitting opposing teams. The Diamondbacks have hit a dozen leading the league, including Freese and McCutchen tonight. 1-1 ball game going to the bottom of the third inning. A.J. Pollock bobbleheads given away. This was on the schedule before the season started, and of course Pollock got hurt 2 days before the start of the season. Broken elbow and a big get well soon card. There's A.J. Pollock. Big loss for these Diamondbacks.
Weird injury, huh?
Yeah. Broken right elbow as he was diving into home plate. Spring training game.
And it looked like he was fine after the slide. It was getting up.
Jake Lamb swings at the first pitch. Jaso keeps it in front, recovers and gets Jake Lamb. Pollock's injury 2 days before the start of the regular season. An exhibition game here. There's the dive and the injury. Paul Goldschmidt. Pollock had a great year last year. He and Goldschmidt, David Peralta, Ender Inciarte finished in the top 10 in hitting. Goldschmidt batted .321.
Wow. Huh. And you have to wonder if he was thinking about it, you know.
Yeah.
He knew the situation, and McCutchen and Freese both got hit, and he was up with nobody on base. And so you have to wonder if he was anticipating it, because he just took 3 fastballs for strikes. Well, all 3 of them pretty good location. But, yeah, I don't see him pull off the Statue of Liberty play very often.
Peralta takes ball 1. That's 4 strikeouts for Nicasio.
It'd be nice to get a quick inning, get a quick out here. And that pitch count is getting up there after 2. See 50 pitches here with 2 outs in the third.
One of 4 strikeouts for Nicasio. David Peralta struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning. Three and 1. 29 years old. 6'4", 250 pounds. Ray Searage keeping a close eye on him. Off-speed pitch there. What was that?
Maybe, I don't know if that was the changeup. It didn't look like it had the same break. Yeah, that's the changeup.
Wow.
How about that? A little confident change of pace. Comes back with the fastball. And you mentioned it a bit ago. Maybe a handful of changeups through his first 3 starts.
This ball drilled to right field. Home run for David Peralta to right. Peralta hit his first of the year last night to left. And it's 2-1 Arizona.
And you wonder if that's the adjustment there. We talked about how last night he looked like his game plan was to stay inside the ball, hit it the other way. The first at bat, Nicasio Cervelli pounded him in. So right there, 3-2. Peralta, no question, was looking in for the fastball. Got it started early. Put it in the seats.
It's the third home run Nicasio has allowed. Freeze on the first. Final out, but home run by Peralta gives the Snakes a 2-1 lead.
It's time for the Toyota RAV4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
David Peralta has homered now in back-to-back games. This one gives his team a 2-1 lead going to the fourth. And they are opening the roof.
Yeah, we'll see. If it makes a difference. I know this. De La Rosa has done a good job of keeping the ball on the ground. Only a couple of fly balls. The home run by Rodriguez. The fly ball by Polanco to center.
You got Cervelli to put the ball on the ground with 2 men in scoring position and 2 outs in the first. Cervelli bounced to shortstop Nick Ahmed. Last year, righties had just 214 off De La Rosa. Left-handed batters hit 315 against him. One and two.
Cervelli not used to swinging through fastballs, frustrated with himself. And now has to protect, and De La Rosa is showing a good slider through the first 3 innings. And that wasn't one of the best ones he's thrown. No doubt trying to get a chase, but didn't want to hold on to it that long and throw it that far out in front of home.
He was originally signed by the Dodgers back in '07 out of Santo Domingo. Went through Tommy John surgery. That was in the summer of 2011. Was traded to the Boston Red Sox for Jerry Sands, August of 2012. And then dealt to these Diamondbacks 2 years ago. A Wade Miley trade. And good job by Cervelli falling behind early and then working the count full, drawing the walk, a leadoff free pass. Use your Port Authority Connect card to save big on Pirates tickets this season. Save up to $8 per ticket on select Sunday through Thursday home games at PNC Park. Connect and save with the Port Authority Connect card. Get your tickets at pirates.com/Connect card. Now the first walk allowed by De La Rosa. He has hit 2 batters. Gregory Polanco hit a ball to the warning track in center his first time up. First home run of the year last night. Well up the batter's eye in center field. Goes the other way. Yasmani Tomas is back and makes the catch. Cervelli had rounded second. They try and get back to first. Throw is wide, and that saves Cervelli from being doubled up.
Well, I thought for a moment maybe an Oppo homer, especially with the roof opened. See if you get any more carry than that. And Cervelli didn't think that Tomas was going to be able to make this play, and so he wanted to put himself in the position to score. And fortunately, the relay throw from Ahmad off the mark. Otherwise, that would have been 2 for the D-backs.
Tomas has not necessarily shined in the outfield either, so an above average play for him as Harrison takes ball 1. Three for 4 last night. Jehay's family has some ties to this Diamondbacks club. His brother Vince is the hitting coach, the advanced A-ball club. But Harrison, Josh, is up there to beat these Diamondbacks. There are other ties to the Diamondbacks organization. Former Pirates involved in coaching.
A whole bunch of them, huh?
Including Doug Drabeck, pitching coach in their minor leagues.
How about J.R. House?
J.R. House is the manager at Visalia. Vince Harrison, Josh's brother, the hitting coach of that club.
Rich Savor?
Yeah, Rich Savor is the pitching coach in Kane County, Illinois. Their A-ball club. Mike Benjamin is the manager there. Two and two.
He's a little late on that one, and boy, De La Rosa ramping it up a bit. That last fastball at 97. Kind of coasting through the first 3, and the fastball rarely getting to 95. And talked to you about it at the beginning of the game, how he averages at 95, a little over 95 with the fastball, but now we're starting to see it.
That's Jehay. Second out. Sean Rodriguez hit an opposite field home run with 2 outs in the second to give the Pirates a 1-0 lead. Now 2-1 in favor of the Diamondbacks. Point Park University tweets so far Esrod is the Matt Cullen of the Pirates. Serpico has become our home run guy. Wow. Sean Rod, the next A-Rod. Hashtag bucket. Congrats, by the way, to Matt Cullen and the Penguins as they get past the Rangers.
Boy, what a start. 467, 3-9.
Now to play. This is his second inning home run with 2 outs. Number 3 already. After hitting 4 last year.
They were being so careful with him. They didn't want to give him a fastball for a strike. And in fact, threw him a 3-1 breaking ball. They got a call on to go 3-2. Then threw the fastball. Good pitcher's pitch down and away. Hit it out. All breaking balls here in this second at bat.
Strikes out Rodriguez. Back-to-back Ks for De La Rosa. 2-1 Arizona. Go to the bottom of the 4th here in Phoenix. Allegheny Health Network injury update. Jung Ho Kang played for the 2nd consecutive game for AAA Indianapolis today. Went 1 for 4. Picked up his first hit on his rehab assignment. Still a ways away. Returning to the Pirates. Jared Hughes will pitch a couple of innings tomorrow, and then the Pirates will reevaluate. We could see Hughes back in the bullpen when the team is in Denver. Roof open here in Phoenix. As Juan Nicasio faces Nick Ahmed, walked him leading off the 2nd, and Ahmed scored on a Chris Herman double. Former 2nd-round pick of the Braves, Ahmed, back in 2011. He was involved in the Justin Upton deal. January of 2013, and interesting to hear you talk, John, about Ahmed's defense. You are really impressed by him at short.
Oh yeah, last year we saw it, and man, the range. He's a big guy. He's quick, long legs. He covers so much ground. Good strong arm, good hands. And now they have all these, defensive metrics, and Andrelton Simmons
led all of baseball in defensive runs saved at shortstop. The former Brave, I think Marte was right behind him, and then Ahmed was the second. I know he was second among the shortstops. I want to say third overall. I know he had saved 20 runs defensively. As you'll see, Ahmed fights this off and gets a piece of maybe the right arm, which is never good. Right hand of Cervelli.
You see a lot of catchers have their arms behind their back to protect, but he keeps it out there. 1-2. So Ahmed, the slick fielding shortstop.
You think about the Braves had probably the 2 best shortstops in baseball in terms of defensive runs saved a year ago, and they're both obviously no longer Braves.
Here comes Rodriguez over at short. A nice pick on the other end by Jaso.
Nice play there by Sean Rodriguez. You don't have much time to waste. And the ball off the end of the bat. Ahmed got out of the box very quickly, and so you have to get rid of it quickly. And strong throw over there. And Jaso looking like a first baseman.
We're going to talk to Kevin Young. He's going to stop in the booth next half inning with the Pirates organization now. Kevin makes his home in the Phoenix area, and he was working diligently with John Jaso going back to minicamp. We'll talk to Kevin about that and about the other first baseman, mainly Josh Bell, AAA Indianapolis, who hit for the cycle in last night's game at a grand slam. Had another hit or 2 today. Chris Owings. Two and 1. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Nicasio is been kind of hanging around the low 90s. We've seen him into the mid 90s. Then again, in spring training, the mid 90s fastball, you're not always sure of the radar guns you're looking at down there.
Four 3 on the putout.
So far this year, Nicasio coming into the game has averaged about just under 94 miles per hour at the fastball.
Trying for his first 1-2-3 inning. This would be very big because then De La Rosa would lead off the 5th. So he's going to try and get Chris Herman, the light hitting catcher who doubled in the game tying run in the 2nd. Lined it over the head of Gregory Polanco in right. Nicasio went 6 innings. His last start this past Sunday against the Brewers at PNC Park through 95 pitches. His 2nd start of the year against the Tigers in Detroit, pitched only 3 innings, 94 pitches in 3 innings of work. One of just a handful of pitchers in history who threw that many pitches in only 3 innings.
He was kind of forced to throw so many pitches. As Cervelli takes another one, looked like off the right shoulder this time. The padded right shoulder. Oh no, the mask. Take that back. Seems to be okay.
His catching mate, Chris Stewart.
Yeah, we didn't know at the time, but Nicasio kind of had to stay out there and work a little extra, even though he didn't have his command that day.
We knew something was amiss because Ryan Vogelsong didn't get up to loosen.
Right.
It was obviously an opportunity for a long relief outing, but we then found out after the game that Vogelsong was going to pitch instead of Liriano the following day. And he's gone full now on Herman. On deck, the pitcher. That was close, but walked him. It's the third walk for Nicasio. His first start was against the Cardinals, the opening series of the season. Went 6 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, did not walk a batter, struck out 7 Redbirds. 5 walks against the Tigers in those 3 innings. Walked a couple Brewers in 6 innings on Sunday. Now he's allowed 3 free passes. And ball 1 on De La Rosa.
You know, and he's a guy, Nicasio, that's never going to be a pinpoint location guy. I mean, more of a power swing and miss type of guy. But from what we've seen through spring training and now into his 4th start, I think this may be the best command he's shown. I mean, he's right around the glove of Cervelli. And as I say that, he goes 3-0 against his counterpart, and this is where, Cervelli, the rest of this at bat has to sit up literally right down the middle of the plate.
Now it's a full count.
Took a lot off on that one at 89. Segura waits, hoping to get in the bat here in the 4th. Step off as Jaso wanted to let Nicasio know that he's behind the runner, Herman, at first.
Well, that does it for the Diamondbacks. De La Rosa bounces out. We're going to talk to Kevin Young when we come back. 2-1 Arizona. Phoenix D-backs lead it 2-1. Heading to the 5th. Montecasio, John Jaso, and Andrew McCutcheon here in Phoenix, Arizona. Roof open, 2-1 Diamondbacks as promised. Kevin Young joins us. Former Pirates first baseman back in the organization, assistant to the general manager. And Kevin, we were talking about, of course, your years with the Buccos and how cool it is for you to be back in the organization. Before we get into Jaso and even some of the other first basemen you've been working with, what is it like to be back with the Pirates?
No, I can't put it in words. Like I said, this is the organization that groomed me from the beginning, and you know, Greg, I mean, from even the times from being in Buffalo and all through the entire system, it's just amazing. It really is. It's pretty special to me, and I get a little sentimental about it. But this is, you know, I bleed black and gold, so I really appreciate that.
A dozen years with the Bucks, 11, a dozen years in the big leagues, 11 with the Pirates, and third on the all-time list of games played at first base in the Pittsburgh Pirates. I am amazed when I see things like that, Kevin, because this is a team that has such a rich history, 130 years. So I can't imagine what it's like for a guy like you to be on that list.
It's an honor. You know, like you said, the history of the organization is huge, and sometimes it goes fast as a player. You can't really appreciate, because you're in the fight every day and you're battling. And but then when you're able to reflect a little bit over your career and you realize that not only the friendships and the people, the good people that you met throughout the time that you spent, you know, like I said, you really can't put it into words. It's a pretty special honor to be on that list.
With a former teammate, John Wehner, of course. The two played with the Pirates as Nicasio takes. And we discussed this before about, you know, you started as a third baseman, went over to first. John bounced around the field when he played the big leagues.
Had to, because this guy was coming
this guy forced
from behind.
Forced him to bounce around. All-time mark defensively at first base in Pirates history. So what is that transition like, Kevin? Because I'm sure you relay that to these players.
Absolutely. I think, you know, like you said, I mean, I look back, and Rock, you can attest to this, but the time that we spent with the people in our organization, sitting at Three Rivers in the cafeteria room, talking to Willie Stargell about defense and getting philosophies and the impact that you have, all that stuff is filtered down, you know, through me to some of these guys that I'm able to have, you know, be blessed to be able to work with. So it's more than just me. It's the history of the organization. It's the journey that we all have as players that we're able to pass these things down. And it's just, it's our responsibility to do that, but especially in this situation. And John's just been unbelievable with receiving information, and then more than that, applying it to his daily routine.
Nicasio going to bounce toward short, and Jaso will be coming up. So perfect opportunity to talk about that. And you can see from day one, Kevin, that he was committed to working with you and Nick Levi, I know, in spring training. And even before that, that mini camp, you were down there in Bradenton working with him. So it does take that commitment initially.
It does. And he was all in. Like I said, the ability to go out in the dirt and play, he embraced that opportunity. He worked at it extremely hard. Okay, 6 to 8 weeks before we even got down to spring training to start, it became one of those things where he definitely took pride in the work. And it was a new position, and there was a lot of habits that he had to break that came from the catcher's position. So getting to turn his glove over, you know, it was a big adjustment for him. And he, like I said, he embraced it, and he works his butt off daily. Even now, you know, he's still trying to get better every single day.
Hopefully we'll have a longer inning to talk more here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because I know we've talked already about how much work he put in on all the bunt plays and different scenarios that he's going to have to face. I know you watch the games. He really hasn't had many opportunities to work to go to those plays and use the knowledge and the things that you guys worked on in spring training. Are you anxious to see how he handles it? Because obviously in game situations he hasn't had to handle much other than routine ground ball.
The best part about it is that he's been able to be out there when the situation calls for it. And as you know, as the games get later, you know, things turn up a little bit. You know, late in the games, bunt situations come up. But, you know, at the end of the day, he's doing a wonderful job of what he's been handling. And it's been great to watch. watch. And it'll only get better with the more experience that he has. So he's really embraced that part of it as well, and he's making sure he's making an impact on defense.
You have to admit, he looks like a first baseman, right?
Yeah, he does. He really does. And I think that's a compliment to his hard work. Several people in our organization, that have really invested that time and energy into him. And so I'm thankful for that. I mean, I really am.
And you got a guy on deck. Here we go again. Who's going to go from third to first? David Freese. We'll continue this conversation with Kevin Young. We'll ask him to stick around for another half inning, as that was a quick one. 1-2-3 for Ruby De La Rosa. 2-1 Arizona. We're back in Phoenix. And we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. 2-1 Arizona. Diamondbacks in front. The top of their order: Gene Segura, Jake Lamb, Paul Goldschmidt. Point Park University tweets. Great to have Kevin Young in the booth with us and fans reacting. Kevin Young was one of my favorite players growing up as a young Pirates fan. Played the game the right way. Glad he's still involved. Kevin Young, man, it's been too long since I've seen him on TV. Kevin Young was one of my favorite players growing up. One of my earliest memories at Three Rivers was a KY home run, and he had a bunch of those. And that is neat, too, to reconnect with Pirate fans, isn't it, Kevin?
It really is. I mean, like I said, that city, meant a lot to me as I was coming along. And like I said, I don't know anything else. I really don't. So I can really appreciate that. Sometimes you forget, the impact that you had on a lot of people at that time. So I'm truly grateful for those fans.
Segura 1 for 2. And we're talking to Kevin, who's working with the Pirates organization in a number of areas, but in particular, that work over at first base. John Jaso has made, I don't know if you'd call it a remarkable transition. I guess you kind of know that a guy that's it seems, I guess, Kevin, that, and maybe I'll ask you this, why catchers seem to have an easier time of that transition, and the history shows that that's the case.
It's the receiving part of that. I think, getting used to, receiving a ball. I mean, as a catcher, you receive over 150 balls a game. So the difficult part would be obviously turning the glove over, playing in the dirt a little bit, how you get to the bag, how you make your throws, things of that nature, knowing, like Rock said earlier, bunt defensive, situations, cutoff and relays. It's just so many things that come into play. And that was probably one of the situations with Jaso that we had to go through on those backfields in spring training. Dealing with that, just putting him through those scenarios.
Cervelli goes down right away. Ben Potenziano, the assistant trainer, shoots out of the dugout along with Clint Hurdle. We saw Francisco Cervelli start at first base the other day for the first time with the Pirates. He started a handful of games with the Yankees at first base a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he's been taking a beating so far tonight. We saw that a good bit last year as well, but That one obviously got him good. But we've seen this before. He shakes it off. Needs some time to.
While they're asking Kevin Young about Jaso and even Cervelli, catchers that go from behind the plate to first base, the biggest thing is that all those pitches received with the glove up, and it is so natural for them to then go over to another position, and as you said, Kevin, now they've got to have that glove down the other way.
Yes, playing in the dirt, fielding ground balls, getting used to balls getting hit at you and moving to get them. The footwork is probably the biggest thing, and like I said, the arm is unbelievable. Like a lot of catchers, they just paint a nice four-seamer everywhere they throw the ball, and so it's always fun to catch balls from Jaso for sure. But like I said, it's been an adjustment that he's really taken to well.
You'd have to say that it's more difficult for an outfielder also for the simple fact that you hear about the speed of the game all the time. All the catchers have to be involved with that, with the bunt plays and everything else. Obviously, throwing out runners, they have to be quick and make quick decisions. The outfielders don't have to make those decisions as quickly when it's hit out there.
That is true, and not to mention, like you said, I mean, the timing part of that. When the outfielder makes an adjustment coming to first base, it's very difficult because they're 90 feet away from the plate. So everybody has a different adjustment. Third baseman, they got to get used to not going to get every ball hit to their right. Catchers got to get used to turning their glove over. Outfielders got to get used to the depth perception and the speed of the game. So they all have certain intricacies that they have to get adapted to.
Now, since Freese is going to be making that transition when Gong gets back, he'll be playing some third and some first. Is it too early to tell what kind of a first baseman he's going to be, or can you? And are you watching that now? And when will discussions begin where you kind of help with some tips and so on at first base?
Yeah, they started in spring training from day one. We got him. We got back on the backfield, and Nick Leva and I went to work with some of the footwork, some of the glove, some of the situation. He's got good hands. He really does. He has really good hands. He moves well. So again, you would like to think that would be the number one focus. Will always be range and identifying which balls are his hit to the right. That's going to be the number one thing. To alleviate a lot of the stress, if you will, in that position. Don't put yourself in a position when you got Jay Hayward, the second baseman, right behind you to make a play. So, but those are the little things that I think you learn immediately once you get out there.
I have to assume that the guy, Josh Harrison or whoever's at second, also helps out with letting them know where they are.
Absolutely,
and
the communication is
on every pitch.
Right. And like I said, we pose some new challenges for first baseman just because our position, we rely on our positioning for our defense more than anything. So that's why I said I don't think really people understand what a transition it has been for John to go over and play the position, because it's not a normal position as you would see someone else doing. And we demand a lot of position changes on him. So a lot of times he could be up to 40 feet away from first base when the ground ball's hit. So it's definitely some challenges. But to learn of a new position, like I said, he's done a masterful job at it, and he keeps working at it to get better each day.
So it's even more impressive than what even meets the eye for us.
Absolutely.
Because so much is on his plate with the positioning. And now Goldschmidt takes a pitch inside.
And we talked about his last time up. He went up there, took 3 fastballs, anticipating perhaps getting hit. Now 2 fastballs under the hands.
McCutchen and Freese were hit earlier. And now Cervelli calls time to go out and talk with Nicasio.
Never know. It looks obviously suspicious. It looks suspicious. Obviously,
went out there like said something pretty serious to Nicasio.
It would be hard to argue intent if this next pitch hits him. After a discussion was on. I think he had his chance, and if that's indeed what was going on.
And 2-2 on Goldschmidt. Tony La Russa. 3-2.
Very interesting. Obviously, there's a history there, and
yes,
yeah, and again, I would think again, with Andrew getting hit in retaliation from Goldschmidt getting his wrist broken, a couple of years ago, I guarantee you Goldschmidt went up there with the intent of getting hit his last time up, and then he didn't, and
yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Chases. Oh, no. Pirates thought they had him. Nicasio was almost to the foul line. You got to be kidding me. As he says, Marvin. Uh-oh. Whoa. Holy mackerel. You do not see this out of Clint Hurdle. Wow. Now, he might have been doing that to protect Nicasio. He shot out of there. And Marvin Hudson. John Jaso now trying to keep Cervelli away from Bill Welke, the crew chief. Pirates thought they had struck out Goldschmidt.
Good look of it here, and that actually didn't look as bad as when it was live. Live, it looked like he went quite a ways, and obviously Nicasio and Cervelli thought for sure that he went.
David Peralta.
KY, you mentioned the Arizona Fall League. Are you happy with your role? Do you have any interest in managing or anything like that?
I don't. I actually enjoy. I enjoy player development, and I think from a managing standpoint, I mean, you do get a little limited. I mean, I love the game. I love watching players grow. But for that same reason, I think managing is just one of those things. I'm not sure that I'd be really interested in it. It really, I think that's probably the best part about.
Deep to left. And Marte there. We'll keep you one more half inning.
Sure.
Thank you. Kevin Young going to stick around as things are getting heated here. For 2-1, Diamondbacks lead. Clint Hurdle talking with Francisco Cervelli after that inning ended. The bottom of the fifth, Cervelli involved with a long discussion. The home plate umpire Clint Fagan. So we're fine. We're good.
For the most part, as fans, when you see the umpires and the catchers going back and forth over borderline calls, they have constant conversation, and they all have, most of them, I would say 90+% have mutual respect for one another. They obviously disagree at times, but at the end of the day, the umpires appreciate the catchers and vice versa. Especially the catchers that block all the pitches.
I was going to say, yeah.
David Freese chops one and backhanded by Segura and throws and gets David Freese. Segura going a long way behind second and gets Freese. The first out here in the 6th inning. Well, these two organizations, the Pirates and the D-backs. Oh, there's Kevin Young. Mike DeFelice, the catcher. And this escalated. KY held back Tommy Sant, and there's Mark Grace. Now an assistant hitting coach. There's Matt Williams. Now the third base coach for these Diamondbacks. They went on to win the World Series that year. The scrappy Pirates and Kevin Young at home plate with Mike DeFelice. What in the world happened there?
Yeah, it was just actually it was a shallow fly ball to center field, and actually went to the plate. I tagged up and went in there, and I was actually out, but we got tangled up in the plate, and then I don't even remember what he was saying. I just remember him standing over me.
So long a guy can ride you. I mean, he was on top of you for quite some time.
Saw manager Bob Brenly in the booth next door. He's now announcing for these Diamondbacks. And there's Matt Williams then playing for the D-backs. And now on the coaching staff for Chip Hale.
Well, there was one you got a little involved in with the Cubs when Gracie was. Remember that one?
Absolutely, and Wrigley.
Bob Scanlon.
Yeah, hey, one thing you can always say about Pirates, we would scrap at any time. That's one sure.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing too, as far as having a closeness and having each other's backs, and so often you see these things where a guy gets hit and guys want to go out there and protect their teammate.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like you said, that's your family for 7.5 months out of this year. You share a clubhouse together. I mean, you go out there to award in a sense. You battle every day. I mean, so it's always nice to have that union. That's the one thing you can appreciate about the Pirates teams that we put together now. They really do feel like that in the clubhouse. You get that feel every single day. So look forward to competing every single day with those teammates.
Bob Walk involved in some of those scraps.
Definitely.
And he and Block are going to go at it soon here, it looks like.
Now, you were with this team throughout spring training, and you've obviously been with this organization and with a lot of good teammates. Get the sense is this is a really, really close club.
It really is. And what's so odd about it is you had guys like Joyce that come in, Freese that come in. You have guys that are new to the organization, but they just embrace that whole part of togetherness, competing every day. They're professionals at what they go about their job, how they play it. And it's something for obviously for the fans to be proud of. So watching them go compete every day, it'll be a nice spring and a nice summer.
Called a strike there, just caught the corner. Cervelli now 3-2 on the Pirates catcher.
It's also nice to see the expectation of winning. I think every team comes in out of spring training, hoping that you're going to get to the postseason and beyond with the history in the 20 years and everything else. This team, each of the last several years now, expect to go even further.
Absolutely. And like I said, everybody has one goal on their mind. They're focused on it. And they're competing every day.
Kevin, thanks a million.
Thank you,
Great to see you. Kevin Young, one of the all-time best, joining us here. Great to have him back in the organization.
Thank you, Rock.
Nice
Kevin
to see
Young,
you, KY.
One of the best. 2-1 D-backs. here in Phoenix, 2-1 Diamondbacks. And that is it for Juan Nicasio. He goes 5 innings, allows 3 hits, a couple of runs, walked 4, struck out 4. Gave up the home run to David Peralta in the 3rd inning that gave the Diamondbacks this 2-1 lead. And Archimedes Caminero will come on for the 9th time, and he is trying to get back to form. And a strong rookie season.
Yeah, after a little bit of a slow start last year. I'm sure folks can remember. And but he still has that velocity. 97 with some movement. Got the weak swing from Tomas.
Takes over for Nicasio. Caminero, you saw his numbers so far this season. He had made a couple of back-to-back scoreless outings, but gave up a home run to Adam Rosales Tuesday night in San Diego. Two and two. It is a shame that the Diamondbacks a few days ago made the transaction. You and I talked about this, of sending down Socrates Brito to the minor leagues.
Yeah.
I mentioned this to Archimedes, the Americanized name, last night, that he will not get the chance to face Brito, at least yet. The Diamondbacks will go to Pittsburgh later, but that would have been a first in the history of baseball. The old Greek mathematician Archimedes facing the Greek philosopher Socrates.
Yeah.
That won't happen. This strikeout, good to see.
Good to see
movement there, huh?
Movement, yeah, good movement. Now Tomas a bit of a free swinger, and Caminero really didn't have to be in the strike zone that particular at bat, but still you like the movement. I think that's when Caminero really got into the groove last year. Was when he backed off and didn't try to overthrow and threw the 2-seamer more often in the zone.
Two 2-0 now on Nick Ahmed. And 3-0. Ahmed walked to lead off the 2nd against Nicasio and scored.
And you'll have to wonder, okay, when Caminero is throwing harder and straighter, he has a little better command. But obviously early on this season he's been hit. Now the 2-seamer has a ton of movement, but he can't quite command it like the 4-seamer.
4-pitch walk.
At least so far tonight.
We'll bring up Chris Owings. Owings has struck out looking and bounced out. Well, thanks to Kevin Young. Great to see former Pirates. And how about the batting champ and MVP met before the game? Freddie Sanchez, the last Pirate to win a batting title in 2006, was on the field during batting practice and said hello to Andrew McCutchen, who we believe could win a batting title someday. Josh Harrison, a couple years ago, finished 2nd in the batting race. To Justin Morneau. Morneau won the title in 2014 at 319, and Jay Hay hit 315. Freddie Sanchez hit 344 in 2006. The last Pirate to win a batting title.
Morneau took a few days, the last few days off,
yes,
didn't he?
He's down toward the wire. And bounce to short. Rodriguez backs up on that last hop. And they don't turn two, but made it pretty close.
Owings has pretty good speed. And the ball is one of those where you see Sean Rodriguez had to retreat. And anytime you have a batter with decent speed and an infielder that has to retreat, it's going to be very difficult to turn two. And the reason Sean had to retreat was because of the hop. You know, if he doesn't take that half a step back, a very difficult in between hop would have been there for him. And you always want to try to put yourself in a position to catch the ball on the way, either at its peak or on its way down. And that's exactly what Sean did.
Chris Herman. Tripled in a run in the second. Walked in the fourth. And McCutchen toward left center. Marte over. And Marte makes the catch. So Caminero, a scoreless bottom of the sixth. Pirates still trail by a run.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Visit Barrel.com to learn more about our 3 conveniently located collision centers. Let's go Bucks!
2-1. Go to the 7th inning. And the Pirates have not been able to figure out Ruby De La Rosa since the Sean Rodriguez home run in the second. De La Rosa has not allowed a hit, just 2 base runners. He hit David Freese in the third, walked Francisco Cervelli leading off the fourth. He has set down 9 in a row.
An excellent slider. You know, the fastball is firm enough and he's located it well enough to avoid many hard hit balls. And the slider has been his go-to pitch. He's been able to throw it behind in the count. He's been able to throw it for chase.
Tyler Clippard up in the bullpen for Arizona. And this is De La Rosa's 3rd start of the year. His first start in 10 days. He worked out of the bullpen a couple of times over that 10-day stretch. His first start of the year was the 7th of this month against the Cubs. Went 3 1/3. Gave up 6 earned runs. And against the Dodgers, went 4 2/3 on the 13th of this month. 3 runs, 2 earned. Polanco has hit a ball to the warning track in center and toward the wall in left in his 2 at-bats against De La Rosa. This off the end of the bat. Shortstop Ahmed comes in, the bare hand play, and a wide throw gets past Goldschmidt, but Polanco will hold at first.
Yeah, you know, if he could stop and take off, probably would have made it to second base. I mean, this is an impossible play. If Ahmed would have been able to throw out somebody as speedy as Polanco on that would have been a miracle. Still did everything he could. You know, if Polanco would have been able to put on the brakes and take off right away, we could have had him on second here with nobody out. But he chose to play it safe.
It'll go as an infield hit, and that will be it for De La Rosa. Chip Hale is going to call on Tyler Clippard. De La Rosa goes 6+, allows just 3 hits, leaves with a lead.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
MLB.tv Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Pirates have a man on, down a run. What an outing for De La Rosa. Gave up the 2-out solo homer in the second. One of just 3 hits. Walked 1, struck out 6, and now the veteran Tyler Clippard, unscored upon in his first 7 games as a Diamondback.
Yeah, he's assortment of pitches. Not a very hard thrower. Only averages about 91 miles per hour, but a good changeup, curveball. Yeah, kind of funky looking too as far as delivery.
A lot of good years with the Washington Nationals, parts of 7 seasons with the Nats. Closed for them 4 years ago. And there goes Polanco. And out at second base. Polanco caught stealing for the 3rd time in 5 tries this season.
You know, a decent jump, but Clippard's quick to the plate. And you see the strong throwing arm by Herman right on the money. Quick release right there. That one hurts. There haven't been many base runners here for the Pirates tonight.
What a job the Diamondbacks have done against the running game. That's 6 caught stealing by Diamondback catchers and 16 attempts by the opponents. And Harrison's going to figure why not. The third baseman is back. He drops down a bunt single with 1 out here in the 7th.
So many pieces of Jay Hay's game. And, sometimes you wonder if he has eyes in the back of his head. He saw, I'm guessing, Jake Lamb back up. See, you just saw at the top of your screen there, as Clippard was coming set, Jake Lamb started backpedaling.
Now, do you see that as a right-handed hitter?
It's hard to see. That's why I'm saying he might have eyes in the back of his head.
Smart hitting.
Yeah. He must have been peeking.
There's a drive to left field by Sean Rodriguez, but this is going to be a line drive that is caught by Tomas. And now hurrying back to first goes Harrison.
Just missed it.
2 down. And Cervelli says, it was close.
Just off the end of the bat.
Barrel Automotive League leaders. Stolen base department. Starling Marte and Melvin Upton Jr. have 5. Josh Harrison, D. Gordon of the Marlins, and the Diamondbacks' Chris Owings with 4.
No Billy Hamilton, huh?
No. Not yet.
And even Gordon with just 4.
Yeah.
It's a shocker.
Here's Matt Joyce to pinch hit for Caminero. Clippard has been especially tough against left-handed batters over the years. Since 2010, lefty hitters batting 185 against Tyler Clippard. Best of any pitcher in that 6-year stretch. .31-year-old Tyler Clippard. A.J. Schugel will be the new Pirates pitcher at the bottom of the 7th inning, the former Diamondback. Pirates down 1. Lefties are 2 for 15 this season against Clippard.
Now behind the count 2-0. Jay Hay is trying to look for an opportunity to take off, get into scoring position. Joyce is going to look for a pitch he can drive and bring Harrison home. And we'll see what Clippard chooses to do here. Does he challenge? No, goes to the changeup, 2-0. And now 3-0, almost certainly has to throw a fastball. And does Matt Joyce have the green light? Saw John Jaso with the green light earlier in the game on a 3-0 pitch.
4-pitch walk, and we will see Jaso. 2 on, 2 outs. Clippard walks his 3rd batter in 7 2/3 innings of work. Last year, Clippard split time with Oakland and the New York Mets. Jaso doubled in the 1st inning. giving him a 12-game hitting streak. That 3-0 pitch John mentioned came in the 3rd inning, and he bounced out to 2nd. Did the same thing in the 5th inning, bouncing out to Gene Segura. Good numbers in his Pirates career so far. John Jaso 4 for 10 in these situations. And that at least will get the runners moved up 90 feet, but now Jaso in the hole 0-2.
Go ahead run in scoring position. You see there the catcher Herman not getting his glove down, and it was a change up that got under his legs.
Pass ball charged to Herman. Clippard ahead of the count, 0-2 on John Jaso, with the Pirates down a run. 2 men in scoring position, 2 outs in the 7th. High fly ball to right field. Over is Peralta. Just missing it. That close. Pirates still trail by a run. Two-one ball game. Music from Crash City. And John Jaso came awfully close to crashing this D-backs party so far. They are leading 2-1, and here is A.J. Schugel making his 5th Pirate appearance. Faces Phil Goslin, pinch hitting for Clippard.
Good numbers so far for Schugel. And a good swing from Jaso. My goodness, after seeing 2 straight changeups, they tried to sneak a fastball in by him. And we see Jaso so often go the other way. Kind of inside out fastballs, doesn't look to pull him very often. Well, he was right on that pitch.
1-2 count on the pinch hitter. Goslin and then Gene Segura and Jake Lamb against Schugel. And Schugel strikes out Goslin looking. Another unhappy hitter with Clint Fagan. Wasn't even close as Chip Hale. That was close.
Yeah, very close. I mean, it was definitely not up. And that's why umpires don't allow managers or anybody really to argue from the bench, because how can they tell if it was in or out?
Segura 1 for 3. A.J. Schugel was a non-roster invitee to spring training for the Pirates. They signed him to a minor league deal after he was claimed off waivers from Seattle in January. Lined, knocked down Rodriguez, and the stretch. 2 outs.
Nicely done. That ball was hit extremely hard. And on the line to shortstop, at times you get some knuckling action, but Rodriguez got the glove there, took his time and unleashed a strong throw. And Rodriguez, you don't see it a lot, but maybe one of the stronger arms from the left side.
Two ways Sean Rodriguez gets the job done against Segura. Jake Lamb 0 for 3. Daniel Hudson gets ready for the Diamondbacks. Aside from last night, they've had a very strong bullpen early going this year. Kids won't want to miss the chance to be the Moe's Pirate Parrot sidekick before Bucco's home game. Fans ages 6 to 14 can join the Parrot at a pregame festivities on the field at PNC Park. Enter for your chance to be the Parrot sidekick at participating Moe's Southwest Grill locations now through May 12th. Two and two.
I love the way Schugel attacks hitters. Got behind 2-0, came right at Lamb with the fastball 2-0, then the 2-1 fastball up under the hands.
Now, quietly, Schugel is gaining more and more confidence, not only in his own mind, but from his manager as he pitches a 1-2-3-7.
Pirates Baseball on Roots Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
2-1, D-backs lead it. A couple more shots for the Pirates here. Tough going for the offense.
Wasn't really expected. You expected some runs to be scored after last night's game. Hudson been very tough to hit. 7 games, 7 2/3 innings, only allowed 2 hits, 6 punch outs. Right at Andrew McCutchen at 94, up in the zone.
McCutchen hit by a pitch, ground out, strikeout. Daniel Hudson, former starter for the D-backs. Oh, 0-2. McCutchen frees, Marte due up here in the 8th.
Fastball slider change is what Hudson offers, and ahead 0-2 wouldn't be surprised to see the slider. Nope, another fastball coming at Andrew. Just one swing. And Andrew McCutchen, of course, likes the fastball. Great fastball hitter. I think this time Herman put down the slider sign.
Daniel Hudson, one of a handful of pitchers who had Tommy John surgery in consecutive years. 2 Tommy Johns. Corey Lukey, who's with the Pirates organization now, had Tommy John surgery in 2012 and again in 2014. Down on strikes goes McCutchen. Nissan Road ahead. Francisco Liriano on the hill against Robbie Ray. Coverage begins at 3:30. As Francisco Liriano looks for a bounce back start, and Ray has been outstanding, as you can see by that ERA of 1.96. The 5th career start for Liriano against these Diamondbacks. And then a ground ball to deep short. Ahmed. Well, John was talking about how impressive he is defensively, and there's an impressive play.
Didn't even have to be that fancy, but that's the kind of talent Ahmed has. It moves so quickly. He was almost looked like he was moving before that ball was hit, anticipating it coming to his right, and in the hole, all in one motion, and a perfect throw as he was running towards the left field line.
Starling Marte, a couple of strikeouts and a flyout against Ruby De La Rosa.
Marte looking for the fastball, didn't get it, got a straight change. Hudson, very rare to see a reliever, whether righty or lefty, come in and throw, right on right change ups or left on left change ups.
toward Ahmed. And 1-2-3 for Daniel Hudson. Still 2-1 Arizona. Cervelli has worked hard to become one of the most consistent, best catchers in the game, both offensively and defensively. See the Buccos backstop rigorous offseason workouts that have helped him reach his goals on Inside Pirates Baseball. Francisco Cervelli hungry. Tomorrow at 3 on Root Sports. There is the Pirates catcher Francisco Cervelli, who will be due up first in the 9th inning against likely closer Brad Ziegler. He's getting ready. And here's Paul Goldschmidt. And up the middle, a base hit. He's on base for the 3rd time, with a couple of walks and a single. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. David Peralta's home run in the 3rd inning with 2 outs off Juan Nicasio over the right field fence gave the Diamondbacks a 2-1 lead. That has stood. And before the ground single up the middle by Goldschmidt, that had been the Diamondbacks' last hit. Hits are even at 4 apiece. But the home run by Peralta, the difference in the game. And Goldschmidt will steal a base too. And in the air to left. And Marte says, nope, you are not going anywhere. 1 out. Well, it's a different atmosphere tonight with the roof open. Not nearly as windy as it was last night. There's Brad Ziegler.
No, it kind of calm and pleasant.
Last night, a stiff wind over toward left. Not much going on tonight. Yasmani Tomas 0 for 3. First and second.
I'm interested to see that replay. That ball looked like it was about a foot inside. I could be wrong. He got jammed badly on this. Yeah, look how far inside that pitch was. And thought maybe Freese had a shot. did not extend the arm, figuring he couldn't reach it.
So a ground single up the middle to lead off, and after the flyout, Tomas fights off that pitch that was way inside. Nick Ahmed has walked twice and scored. And that's up the middle. And Goldschmidt going to score. It's 3-1.
Two-seamer, I think maybe wanted it in a little bit further than that. And that's a pretty good swing from Ahmed.
Just the second hit in his last 19 at bats. Picks up his 8th RBI of the season and gives the D-backs a 3-1 lead, and a visit from the Pirates pitching coach Ray Series before Chris Owings steps in. Happy 20th birthday, Don Mucci, the IUP. And coming up on Monday, Grandma Chris Booth. As Rob Scahill loosens up. Again, the Pirates have Francisco Liriano on the mound tomorrow as they wrap up the series against the Diamondbacks. Our coverage here from Chase Field starts at 3:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Owings 0 for 3.
He was peeking down there. See where David Freese is playing him, thinking about that bunt hit.
Defensive alignment there.
Pretty much straight up.
Schugel, just a brief opportunity last year with the Diamondbacks. Appeared in 5 games. And Freese, skips past him. Marte guns toward the plate. And the ball and the runner arrive at the same time. He scores to make it 4-1.
I can't believe that Marte made that close. That strong throwing arm hit Tomas in the left arm. I didn't even think he'd throw home. I thought he might be throwing to third because Ahmed was going first to third. Is this ball that two-hop top spinner? Watch where it hits. I mean, if that ball arrives a split second sooner, Tomas is out. Yeah, that's probably one of the tougher plays for a third baseman right there. That ball just eats you up. You're just kind of stuck in between. And there you see it. Ball and the big left fielder arriving at the same time.
Chris Herman, the on-deck hitter, was imploring him to slide. He disregarded those instructions. Allegheny Health Network Supermo Now the infield in. After a 1-2-3-7. This inning began with that Goldschmidt ground single up the middle. One out later, 3 straight hits. David Freese at ball. Played him a bit.
Kevin Young here visiting earlier. He talks about the speed of the game, and especially when you're on the corners, and you get that ball hit at you, got to make literally a split-second decision as to go get it, and maybe retreat a bit. And try to get a better hop.
Hit well to right. Chris Herman. The home run to pretty much put this game away. A 3-run shot to right for Chris Herman. He's first with the Diamondbacks. And he has a big night at the plate.
That was almost like a one-handed swing. It was a changeup, I believe. He was out in front of it. And that's not a bad location either. It's right on the outside edge, just above the knee. And you could see the weight was going forward a little bit. Got the barrel to it. And got plenty of distance.
That's it for Schugel. 7-1 Arizona. Have opened up a 7-1 lead. A.J. Schugel had a 1-2-3-7. Back out there for the 8th. Gave up that leadoff ground single by Goldschmidt. 1 out later, the Tomas base hit. Ahmed singled. Chris Owings, a chopper that got by Freese for an error, and the home run by Herman.
Scahill trying to close out this bottom of the 8th inning. Just 1 out. Just 3 2/3 innings, 4 strikeouts, a walk.
Ricky Weeks batting against Rob Scahill. There's Sean Rodriguez in the dirt, and a pick by Jaso.
Boy, that's a heck of a pick. That's a tough one right there. That one is, for one, a strong throw, as Rodriguez has that very strong arm. But this isn't a short hop. This is one where you're just hoping that the ball bounces in your glove. And John Jaso makes it look easy. That's a tough one.
Talking to Kevin Young earlier about John Jaso wanting to be a good one.
We'll say that as a catcher, they pick a lot of balls, so, and a lot of times it's fastballs, and there's velocity, obviously, and they have pretty good hands, obviously.
Segura 1 for 4. Juan Nicasio started for the Pirates, gave up the 2 runs in 5 innings on 3 hits. Chris Herman, an RBI double in the second, tied the game at 1. Pirates had taken the lead on the home run by Sean Rodriguez. David Peralta homered in the third to make it a 2-1 ball game, and now this 5 spot. Segura, the 8th Diamondback to hit here in the 8th inning.
The Pirates, Pirate fans, I think, have been spoiled with these bullpens. We've had such great bullpens over the years, and I anticipate this one being great as well. So anytime you see them give up runs, and really part of this season they've given up more than their share of runs, more than they're used to, certainly. And
it's still a little unsettled. The rotation is just not up to speed yet. With here again, Nicasio goes only 5 innings and a strikeout of Segura, but D-backs now lead 7-1. Great shots from the Allegheny Health Network. Supermo not so great on the scoreboard, however. As the Diamondbacks lead 7-1. Looking as though they're going to even this series. They had a 5-game winning streak snapped by the Pirates last night. Still, they've won 5 of their last 6 coming in, 6 of the last 8. Francisco Cervelli will lead off against the new pitcher, Enrique Burgos.
It sat the closer Ziegler down after the 3-run homer by Herman. So Burgess gets the call. Second season, 30 games, 2-2, 467.
Called up today. Cervelli tonight has grounded out, walked, and struck out.
Even with the 7-1 lead, Burgess goes with the breaking ball, 2-0.
Chris Herman with a home run, pretty much putting this game away. His first as a Diamondback. He had a big run scoring double in the second that tied the game. Wellington Castillo behind the plate last night, hit a couple of home runs. So he and Herman have combined for 3 home runs. And the Pirates catcher, hard shot, but Ahmed throws him out. It'll bring up Gregory Polanco. Burgos down at AAA Reno. 5 appearances. No earned runs in 5 innings. Polanco hit a ball to the warning track in center field in the second. Looked like it had a shot maybe to get out of here. Same thing happened in the fourth. Hit the ball to left field. And he reached on an infield single in the 7th. He's also caught stealing in that inning. Ruby De La Rosa looking as though he is going to pick up his 2nd win, and Juan Nicasio is going to drop his record to 2-2. And Polanco beat him there. Out call at first base. Pirates will take a look at this. It seems kind of meaningless in a 7-1 game, but you never know, and you want to get Polanco a hit. But the Pirates feel like the pitcher beat him to the bag.
That was the case. I mean, you're obviously going to go and get a review if you think that he beat it, regardless to score, and just try to get your player a hit. You know, it's funny. With review the way it is, I know as a base runner and you're running through the bag, you could feel when you hit the bag and hear when the ball is caught, and so you always feel like you know whether you're out or safe. You know, and we see it all the time where the runner will like put his arms out safe and he thinks that he beats it. I have a hard time believing they're just, you know, playing a game, you know, and so I always I wondered, you know, how many times I was wrong and I thought I was safe.
You wonder, I guess, what it would have been like with replay back in your day.
Yeah.
Harrison a bunt single in the 7th. One of only 4 Pirates hits. And once again, Ahmed. And the Diamondbacks even this series. Ruby De La Rosa gets the win. David Peralta's home run in the 3rd made it a 2-1 ball game. And they added 5 for insurance in the 8th. And end up with a comfortable looking 7-1 victory.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game off camera, thinking, well, this could be another big offensive day with the roof opening up, but instead we got 2 good pitching performances. I thought Nicasio threw the ball well. I mean, the pitch count did get up there, but I thought his